what's going on. Behind me are some things that I use for the art pieces that you see in time lapse on my shorts and on my reels. I just wanted to like take you guys behind the scenes and show you the things that I like to use, because maybe it's something you might be interested in incorporating in your own work, if you haven't thought to do so already. I explain in my videos that I don't use pencil, I use pen. I don't like to use pencil for a number of reasons, and a lot of it has to do with sometimes it gets trapped in the paper and stuck there forever, and you can't get rid of it no matter what you do, so that's something that I just personally don't like, so I steer away from it. And I started using, believe it or not, because this is the most bizarre piece of equipment, right? It's a pen with 4 different types of color. I don't know what exactly it's called. I call it a drafting pen because for me that's what it is I use the red and the black ink notoriously. I use the red to sketch like you guys see in the videos, and then I hit it with the black or with the felt tip microns that are behind me that I'm gonna get to in a sec. This was like $2. I've had it for about a year. You just twist it. It holds a lot of ink actually. Like these have a lot of ink in them, so they're gonna last me a long time. But yeah, these are good. The felt tip microns. I have had these for 10 years. I love them. I like to use them over the name brand microns because those have plastic tips and they can kind of like scorch and scar the paper a bit. Maybe that's what you're going for, but I just don't like that. I don't like the ability to go that deep into the paper. It looks kind of tacky, I guess is the word I'm looking for. And the reason why I've been able to keep these for so long is because, number one, I keep these laying flat at all times. These types of utensils need to be laying flat, just like markers in general, like your alcohol-based markers. What else? Sharpies, anything like that. You want them to lay flat and always touching the tip, because what happens when you're not using them and say you have them sticking up, all of that ink is gonna shoot down to the bottom and it's gonna cake up, and that's why your micron or your marker or something that may have ran out of ink. It's just a thing that happens. But what I do to solve that problem is I take my teeth. Probably shouldn't be doing that, but I take the top off with my teeth and I go in with about 4 to 6 drops of Bombay Black India ink by Dr. P.H. Martins. Zoom in here. I have other colors too, but I use this for my markers. The reason why I use that specific ink is because when it dries, it will not smudge. When you erase over it, it will not lighten up at all, because it's permanent ink. So once this is laid, it won't come off. That's why I like using them. Next ones are Pigmas. These are a Japanese brand ink brush pens. There's a fine tip, a bold brush, oh Jesus, and a medium brush. So I'm gonna show you all 3 of those, and then I have to go pick up my cap that I flew across the floor. Hopefully you can see them. But yeah, these are my favorite. I've had these for a while too, and I do lay them flat. They have to always lay flat, no matter what you might think. You don't want these things to dry out. You really don't, because they're a pain to go and find again. Alright, we're back. Sorry for for my creaky chair. I don't know how to solve this problem. The Sharpie. Standard, original, not very pointed Sharpie. Usually I like them a bit more pointed than that, but I think I use this a lot. But it's just, if I want a bolder outline that maybe my microns can't cover and I don't want to use my pigments, I'll probably usually end up using my Sharpie. Alright, so let's get into erasers. This is a kneaded eraser. I use this for charcoal work mostly, and to get like really nice crisp white design in there. It's really good for highlighting. It's really good for fixing errors. This is just a black firm eraser that I want to say came with my charcoal kit. These are just those plain white erasers you see. They're more of like a medium firm. They're a bit on the softer end. They pick up a lot more lighter work for pencils and chicken scratch and all of that, and like it's really good for cleaning up pieces after you've used a lot of pencil for sketching. It takes back shading really well too. And this is like a way softer gummy type of eraser. It's a little more on the dry, gritty end, I would say. It's a good like multi-purpose eraser. I use it often. It's usually the eraser I'm going for typically, besides maybe the black one. It just depends what I'm doing as well. And behind me, it's gonna be bizarre too, is a Mr. Clean magic eraser. These are great for also charcoal. They help fix errors for like watercolor. I haven't used it anywhere else besides that. You can just easily tear it off and like tear it in half, or you can take scissors and cut it and use it for anything you want. I haven't had to use this yet because I just haven't been touching charcoal that much or watercolor or anything, so it's just been chilling. It's good for picking up messes too, of course. So like if you accidentally spill ink everywhere, this is your savings grace right here. These are water tube paintbrushes for watercolor. It's really good for like traditional American spit shading. If you don't want to use your own spit, you can control the amount of water that comes through here and you can get a really nice spit shade. There are different tips. There's a bold brush, a medium brush, and then a flat brush. I'm not sure why in the kit they decided to put a random flat brush. I never really end up using a flat brush in my watercolor work, except for like background, and usually I just use what I have on my wooden dowels behind me for that. But here are the tips. I would have preferred a fine tip, but that's just my opinion. I got these at Michael's, I want to say, for like $7. They're pretty inexpensive. You'll find them in the like watercolor and Japanese painting section where they have like the sumi ink and stuff like that. This is a pencil, or this is a ruler that I stole from the auto shop when I was in high school, and I just like never stopped using it since. It goes from 1 inch to 1/16, so it's just really good for grid work if you're trying to blow up a portrait from small to larger, and stuff like that. It's a really good handy tool, especially if you want to get like symmetry right and things like that. Really good tool. I also have a protractor laying around. I just can never find it. No idea where it is. These are circle stencils, also from Michael's. Can't tell you how much they were. I just know that they were cheap enough for me to get excited about enough to buy. So they have like measurements on them and stuff like that. I don't use the measurements. I literally just pick the circle that I want and I trace it. It's really good for artists too, like if I'm drawing some sort of like architecture scenery, like if I'm drawing something in Paris or France or you know, like Greek something, I'll go for these for arches, because if you see on this, it has indicators on all the sides to kind of quarter it. So I'll go like from here, and that's where I indicate that that's the middle of my arch, and then I go here, and then from there I'll do like, you know, like other detail work to make it look more like an arch. I kicked my cat out because she was annoying me, and now she's just being a drama queen. This is handy as well. It's a little wooden figurine. You'll find these again at every art store ever. I'm pretty sure even Dollar General sells them. Don't quote me on that, but this was also inexpensive. I would say it was about like $4, maybe $8. I've had it for a while. I think I've had it for, no idea, a long time. And this is the sketchbook. It's like I actually like these sketchbooks because you can just like flip through them easily, and it lays flat, and the only time it would ever obstruct me is if I'm working over here. It's just like, it's something that actually stays out of my way when I'm drawing, and I love it. It was also probably inexpensive as well. It was gifted to me, but it's definitely a Walmart sketchbook or somewhere similar, so I'm gonna say it was probably like $6 to $12. Really inexpensive. Outside of that, everything else that I have is just to need basis. Of course I have colors, watercolors, and stuff like that. I can show you guys my supplies in another video if you want, but this stuff behind me is what I'm typically using for the pieces that you see online that I do in time lapse. I just wanted to kind of like show you behind the scenes a little bit. But let me know in another video if you guys want like tutorials maybe, or if you want to see like the whole process of how I do things. I don't mind doing that. I know there's a lot of like beginner artists out there that are like going to YouTube and stuff like that. I've been drawing my whole life, like since about first grade. My dad was sketching something someday, and I don't know, he showed me step by step how to do it, and from there I was just like really fascinated by it, and it turned into finding step-by-step books in like the library at school, to tracing people on magazine covers, tracing animals, like tracing pictures on encyclopedia books, things like that. So yeah, definitely I would check those out, especially if maybe you've been drawing for a while but stopped, but you want to pick it back up and you're rusty. I would pick up a step-by-step book. It sounds crazy, but it does give you a lot of fundamental work. Anybody can draw. If you can draw a circle, triangle, and a square and some lines, you are basically an artist. Like, it's all mainly just technique, and it's all you. Like, it just depends on what you want to do and what you want to achieve. Catch you in another video.